listening to Ninth House Jupiter, and this is the fourth video out of my moon sign series. I'm going to be talking all about the Cancer moon. Now, of course, as many of you know, the moon sign is one of the big three things to understand about yourself and other people in order to work out someone's basic personality traits. But your moon sign is not what people first see when they meet you. That is going to be your rising sign. The moon sign and your moon sign will be the inner side of you, the more hidden and private side, because the moon is dealing with, as I'm sure many of you know, your emotions, your feelings, and how you react to things. Your moon sign will also give an indication on what type of upbringing you had also, and what type of mother you had, and what you need in this lifetime to make you feel emotionally secure. The moon is at home and rules over the sign of Cancer, so that means the moon loves to be here. It operates really well and functions really well and does what it's meant to do. The moon is meant to feel, and when the moon is in the sign of Cancer, that's what it can do. It can feel and express. And Cancerians are the most emotional, one of the most emotional signs that exist in the zodiac. And if you think about it, we've got the moon here ruling over the cardinal water sign of Cancer. What happens when you cry? Water comes out. So you've got the moon, Cancer, most emotional, emotions and feelings, water, it all links together. The Cancer star sign also represents the mother, the home, fertility, babies. Cancer rules over the breasts and the stomachs, the caregiving, mothering parts of a body. So naturally this makes Cancer moon archetypes very focused on having and building a beautiful home life and build really strong emotional connections with those people that they love around them. Because the moon is at home here means that Cancer moons are very in tune with how they're feeling. These are very emotionally in tune people and will express and demonstrate quite deep emotions because they are very in tune and connected with how they feel on an extremely deep level. I need to stress that this isn't just, for example, there are other moon signs that aren't able to feel things, but I've been so excited to do this video because this is the first water moon video out of my series that I'm getting to talk about. So Cancer moons feel things deeply. The moon is the most fluctuating luminary planet. It only spends 2.5 days in each sign. So this means that Cancer moon archetypes naturally have fluctuating moods, just like the moon, it changes so fast. They can have mood swings. So if you're around a Cancer moon, you know that they've got that side of them or if you are a Cancer moon, you know you've got that side of you that can be a bit snappy and crabby and just a little bit mood swingy. But it's because the moon that's ruling here over Cancer is moving really, really fast around the zodiac. The moon is also a receptive energy because it's feminine. So the feminine energies are the receptive ones. So this means that Cancer moons are very receptive to the energies around them and can be really quite sensitive to the frequencies around them. So I would say be careful who you're around because you are super receptive to receiving other people's energies, and because we're dealing with the emotions and feelings, this is something that naturally Cancer moons, you understand emotions and feelings really well. If somebody says something to a Cancer moon archetype to hurt their feelings in any way, then you better trust that they're going to instantly snap back. Cancer is represented by the crab who's got the claws, and they have got that snappy side. So if their emotions are hurt, then they will come back quite fast with a reaction, and not in a nasty way at all. Actually, it's more in a protective nature. They want to protect how they're feeling. They do not like to feel vulnerable. And it's quite interesting really with the crab and also Scorpio. The sign of Scorpio is represented by the scorpion, and the crab, Cancer. They're the only two signs out of the zodiac that have animals representing them with an armoured shell. And as we know with crabs, they're very tough on the outside, but actually once you tuck into the crab, they're really nice and soft and sensitive and tender inside. As I said, Cancer represents the 4th house in a birth chart, and that's really important because the 4th house is one of the angular houses, and the angular houses have a much more prominent effect in the way that they sort of in the way that the planets are affecting us in our life. If you've got any planets in any of the angular houses, So that's 1st, 4th, 7th and 10th. But with Cancer, we're talking about the 4th house. The 4th house, we're also talking about here the IC. And the IC, that represents the most private part of ourselves, where we have hidden emotions. So all of this that I'm speaking about is the Cancer moon, relates to the Cancer moon archetype. So they are naturally have a very protective side to them, where they are protecting the IC, the 4th house, the most private part of themselves. And they also will fiercely protect people that they love around them. If they've got someone that they love and someone's trying to hurt them, a Cancer moon will 100% fiercely protect that person. Sometimes could have slight overprotective vibes. You might be a little bit too overprotective of that, but just know this comes from a place of protecting that vulnerability. You don't want to seem vulnerable to other people or let people attack your emotions. It's just not something a Cancer moon archetype would be comfortable with. And they are very protective over how they truly feel and won't say how they feel really unless they feel that they're in a safe place to do so, a safe place where they can express without any judgment and speak whatever their truth is. That's a very important thing for Cancer moons, because another really important thing for Cancer moons is when they are speaking to people that they're heard. This is a sign that needs to be heard when they're expressing. If they feel that they're not being heard properly and understood, then they can have tendencies to shut down from that situation. And as I said, if someone close to a Cancer moon hurts them, if someone close to you's hurt you, then you will snap back. The crab claws will come out. Anyone with prominent Cancer placements or 4th house energies, and in general actually with the water signs, then you are going to be extremely intuitive people. It's actually a natural gift, whereby it's not something you speak about, it's something that you can sense, you can just feel. Something's up, something's not right. These are very intuitive people. So Cancer moons out there, if you've had any psychic experiences, or just sometimes you get this sudden feeling that something might not be right and then it comes out to be true, that's because you are intuitive. And I highly recommend for all water signs and water placements to follow your intuition, because those messages that you get, where do they come from? They do appear to come from nowhere, but they don't. It's something you can feel. You're in tune and connected with things that other people without this placement just can't get. Cancer moons are extremely concerned with being and feeling safe and secure. This is not a sign that likes to feel vulnerable and insecure in any way, and love to create a safe place. We're talking about the 4th house, Cancer, the home, the mother. So they are concerned with building that beautiful, nice home. As I said, somewhere that they can retreat to and relax in their environment. Cancer moons and the Cancer archetypes in general, when it comes to their home and the way they keep it, it's very homely, family vibes, very welcoming, and just probably in general have built a very nice home life. Some moon signs will just sit and think about how they feel without actually connecting with their emotion. Like the air moons, they will just intellectualize how they are feeling. But this is a sign that the Cancer moons don't think about how they're feeling, they just feel how they're feeling. Does that make sense to you? You feel how you feel, and that's that. So you're coming from a place of being receptive to energies around you. So your feelings might change depending on the situation that you're in. Like a Cancer moon person will always be thinking, is this the right thing for me to do? How is that going to make me feel? Is that safe for me to do? Because another thing, I'm going to bring it back to the crab. Crabs don't walk head on, do they? They walk sideways. They make sure they've got a whole view of what's going on, and they make sure they're safe before they move. They also have their home borderline on their backs. Your moon sign lets you know how you react to things. So with all that emotion that I've been speaking about, Cancer moons, they automatically react from a place of emotion. This isn't someone that comes from a thought process place. They react to things instinctively on how that's making them feel. This can, of course, make Cancer moons have quite a dramatic side, because we're talking about people who react instinctively from a place of how they feel before applying any thought process or any logic to that. So also the moon, we're talking about what you need here. So when I'm speaking about the moon, we're always talking about what you need. So Cancer moons, it's so important for you to have that person, whether it be your friends, family, partner, but just someone or a couple of people that you can call up and release how you're feeling out to someone who will listen and not pass judgment and just let you express. This is a sign that needs to be able to do that. It's not healthy for a Cancer moon to bottle up all their feelings inside. And I actually don't think they can really bottle up all their feelings inside. But, you know, as I said, it's an expressive sign. But if they're around somebody or in a situation where they don't feel safe to express, then they won't. So this is why it's important that you have got that safe space, that ear that you can trust and call up, that friend who'll just listen to you talk for hours about how you're feeling and advise you in an emotional way. That is key for Cancer moons. Cancer moons are reliable people because they are representing like the mother, the children, those types of topics that I've already touched upon. So they are naturally a caregiving energy and look after people around them, and it's something that you like to do. You just find yourself naturally looking after people, wanting to care. Even sometimes people you don't even know about, you care about how people are feeling about things, but they like to feel needed. This is a sign that needs to be needed to give you, I guess, that feeling of a bit of purpose, that sense. If you're not busy looking after people in the house and the home, then you'd be feeling a little bit lost, I'm sure, or emotionally unstable. But at the same time, with all of that natural, caring, motherly energy that you have, you also need to have somebody around you that you can rely on too, like being that person who's always taking care of everyone and always making sure everything's done, looked after, paid for, on time, all of that stuff. Like, you also need someone, especially in a partner with the moon sign here. The moon sign is something that your partner would know very well, because it's only a side of you that you reveal to people close to you. And Cancer moons, as I said, they need a partner that they can rely on sometimes, who will just take the stress off them and look after them as well, because they give so much in a relationship. They do so much. They give their all, and they do want that back. They like to feel appreciated. Oh, don't underappreciate a Cancer moon. That is one quick way to put them in a bad mood with you and probably snap at you, because they do things and they're an appreciative energy, and they literally need that straight back. If you're a Cancer moon, just know that this is a really super powerful moon to have. I mean, the moon, it's the closest planet to Earth. We can see it. Everyone around the world, we get to look at that beauty up in the sky, the ruler of the night. And because this is the house of Cancer, it's an angular house, it's a cardinal sign, so you're also naturally very, very driven people, and your intuition skills are out of this world. As I said, trust your instincts. It's like a borderline sixth sense thing that Cancerians have got there, or anyone, Cancer rising, sun sign Cancer people. But you have to use this power wisely, and I strongly recommend that you have some sort of outlet, because you are, as I said, constantly taking care of people, being that role model, that you need to take time for yourself. And because you can be so highly emotional and everything's driven off your emotions, you need an outlet that can keep you grounded, like yoga, get outside into nature, something that's calming. And because you're always around people, usually this is a super family orientated sign, but you're taking on a lot of responsibility with this moon placement. So I think it's also important that you have time to yourself. I mean, I know that a Cancer moon, if they're pissed off with someone, then they'll just shut off anyway and kind of isolate and retreat until they feel better and have finished with their mood. But that's something you should just incorporate anyway. Like, sometimes just take a step back from everyone and everything, and just make sure you get in time for yourself and having your own outlets and release of that energy that you've got. Because this is a sign that can forgive but doesn't forget. Cancerians, don't forget, we're dealing with this. The fourth house deals with the past, roots, traditions. So they have a very nostalgic side to them, and can be really, prone to clinging on to past emotional feelings, so you will never forget how something made you feel, even though you might have moved on from it. If so, Cancer moons can carry around emotional trauma with them. If you know things have deeply hurt them, they can just carry this around and reflect to those times. So again, this is why I'm saying to you, it's important to have a release of your emotions and find some really grounding activities. This is water, you know, earth is compatible with water. You need to find some of those more just grounding activities in general to give yourself some inner peace. Now, of course, the moon represents your mother and what type of mother you had and your upbringing. So I find really with Cancer moons, though, it's actually one of two extremes. You're either really, really close to your mom and your mom was that really loving, caring, emotionally available mom that did everything for you as a child and completely revolved her life around her kids and being super overprotective, you know, probably still pop round to your mum's and call your mum for a chat all the time now. And I find that's really, if you're a Cancer moon and your moon is positively aspected in the chart, then you're more likely to get on with your mum and hold her in very high regard. But on the other hand, when the moon sign is less positively aspected, can actually represent quite a frustrating relationship with the mother not being there and actually being quite cold and quite distant. Could have narcissistic traits, but it's not an easy relationship that you had with your mum. So let me know, Cancer moons, let me know what type of relationship do you have with your mom and what aspects have you got that's affecting that and playing out. It's so interesting to know. Cancer moons have a very caring and perceptive side of them, that these are people that are really good with children and especially animals. Like I noticed they have a love for animals. Also anyone with Pisces energy, also very connected to animals. But it's because you've got this caring side. It's a person who is aware in general of how people are being treated, even if it's nothing to do with you. You are just constantly, you're conscious of how people are being treated, and you want people to be treated well because that is what you believe and feel is right. The moon, the feelings, the emotions, how you react. With this being a water moon, can make Cancerian moons kind of dwell on their feelings and hold a grudge. Like, these aren't people who can feel something and just get over it really quickly. No, certain other moons, like, you know, you've got the fire moons, let's say Aries moon, for example. Aries moons, they can flare it really quickly emotionally, but they get over it and move on and completely forget about it. But this isn't a sign that I said that forgets. You don't forget, so you can hold a grudge with people and can tend to dwell a little bit on the past. But as I said, we're talking about Cancer, the fourth house, roots, families, traditions, that nostalgic vibe, and that's why it manifests out in that way. If you're a Cancer moon, then consider yourself really lucky. I mean, congratulations, you were born into the sign where the moon likes to be, the closest planet to us, that's ruling all of the waters and every soul on this earth's emotions and feelings. So definitely consider yourself lucky if you're a Cancer moon. And guys, I'm going to leave it there. That's my video on the Cancer moon. If there was anything that I said that you could relate to or that you like, then please drop me a like on the video, leave me a comment, ask me some questions, and of course subscribe and come with me on my astro journey on YouTube. And coming up in my next video, we're going to be talking all about the Leo moon. I'll see you then.